You've probably noticed that as I've been taking these pictures, we have a computer on set that the pictures have been going to. And this is something called tethering, and Rich is going to come in and show you how you can tether your camera to your computer, which allows you to see a lot more detail and do a little bit of processing right on set.
Tethering is a pretty straightforward process, and essentially you've got two options. In this case, we're actually using both of them. You notice I have a video monitor on set, a TV set, a professional video monitor. There's lots of options out there, and I have a laptop. Let's start with this screen. We put this screen up on set so you could see what we were doing. Rather than having to imagine what Abba was seeing in the viewfinder, we set this so you could actually see the results that we were getting during the shoot. Now you might be thinking, well, I don't need that, I'll just use the viewfinder. What happens if you had other people on set? Maybe a client, or you were teaching a class yourself, or you just wanted to share the information with others because you really wanted them to see what's happening. Well, this is pretty straightforward. Most of these TVs will have an HDMI port, or you can get an HDMI adapter to HD SDI, which is what this monitor uses, but your typical TV set is just going to be an HDMI plug. Now you might be wondering, well, what's that going to do? Now over here, what we've done is we have the HDMI cable going directly into the camera. Chances are your camera uses a mini or maybe even a micro HDMI cable. So you're probably going to have to get a special cable that goes from mini or micro to the full-size HDMI that the TV set wants to use. This is one of the easiest ways to output your camera to a TV set on set so you can see what's happening using the camera's live view feature. Now you may have to dig into your manual a little bit and see what your camera supports for live view, but this is how we're getting this information out. You'll also notice that my cables are securely attached to my tripod. You can do this with a piece of tape. I have a clip that actually clips onto the tripod leg here. So this cable is secure and it's not pulling on the port here, putting any damage or stress. Now, while we're here at the camera, let me mention, I've gone ahead and tethered a long USB cable. I'm just going into the standard USB port on your camera. Depending upon the make of the camera, this could be a micro USB or a mini USB, or maybe if it's a newer camera, even USB 3. And this is just going out. Same thing here, using just a little Velcro strap. I've tied that in so this is not under stress and there's a bit of give, and it's also attached to one of the legs of my tripod, going back to my computer. Now we are here and I'm just using Lightroom. Most of you have Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. If not, there are other solutions out there that allow you to tether, and I've plugged in the USB cable to my computer. Now you might be wondering, oh, it's kind of a bad idea just to set a laptop on a stand. Well, we're just using a production stand here. This one's from a company called Tether Tools, but there's lots out there, or you could use a table. The most important thing here is this safety strap. You notice that I've just actually strapped the computer in so it's not going to slide off. There we go. That just keeps it safe here, so it's really not going anywhere. Everything's connected up, easy enough. We've gone into the USB port. Same sort of thing over here. We've made sure that there's a little bit of slack and the cable's not stressing, putting tension on the port. We've gone ahead and connected it, and I'll just go to the library module because I'm ready to start importing. File, Tethered Capture, Start Tethered Capture. And you notice in this case, it just wants me to name the session. I can give it the date of the shoot or any information that I want. Choose a destination of where the file should be stored. That works out well. And I'll just click OK to invoke it. At this point, the camera is actually recognized, and I could see the settings of the camera itself. If I wanted to, I could actually remotely control the camera from over here. Now, I'm not going to do that because Abba's in charge of the shoot today, but this makes it really simple if I actually want some control. So by triggering that, it'll actually start the camera. Now, if it doesn't start right away, it's pretty simple. There we go. And the reason why it wasn't engaging is the camera had autofocus on, and without a subject in there, there was nothing for it to focus. So I just flipped the autofocus off. You see everything's triggering. Well, let's go back to the computer. And if I click the trigger button here for capture, you see it actually invokes. Now, this is a pretty straightforward process. This allows the pictures to be fired. I could remotely fire from the camera, sometimes useful if you're doing something like a tabletop shot, but normally if you were working with a subject, you're probably going to be near the camera so you can make more adjustments to the camera, and that's the good news. Watch. as I continue to shoot here and we start to actually take the shots, the images are still going to download. So I'm just going to hold my hand out here so you see a change. And pretty quickly what happens is that image is going to go down over the USB port and it's going to arrive over here into Lightroom, making it really simple that my images actually show up while we're working.